What's going on, guys? So your daddy here, man. Just thought I'd pop in. We just passed mid-season, man. I've been watching all you guys' videos out there in the BNG, and you guys see me commenting on everybody's, this and that, and people going back and forth and showing their bona fides, where they're from, and why they're Redskins fans and whatnot. And I hadn't made any videos lately just because I really haven't had much to say. I've been watching our guys, hoping that they'd start popping on all cylinders, man. And yesterday, that was almost it, man. We were playing pretty darn good football against Tennessee, and we were just missing one thing, and that was special teams, man. We had great production on offense, and I can't imagine how much better the game would have looked had each start been 40 yards shorter. If we had to travel just 40 yards to a touchdown rather than 80 across the whole field. See, I'm waiting. I've been watching our team, man, and it seems like every now and again everybody will lose, but sometimes you get stuck where one part of the team is popping on all cylinders, and the other parts, they're just kind of falling apart, man. But until yesterday, our special teams has never been a problem. Usually those guys, they just get out there and they light the damn place on fire, man. Brandon Banks always gives a short field, but then that's always accompanied with a really bad offense, and a defense that tries to play. But our defense usually does pretty good, man. But when they spend 45 minutes out of an hour out on the field, it's hard for them. So we need to keep that productive offense like we had yesterday, and hopefully we can throw that together with our special teams. You know what I mean? Knock on wood. Brandon Banks is explosive, man. I hope Shanahan, when he's looking at film, realizes that he needs to do a little more work on special teams. Banks could have completely ruled that game, and I don't see how he couldn't have. We were so productive on offense. All he needed to do was give us a break for 45 yards or something one time. That would have been another touchdown, just because our offense was popping. Cooley looked really good. Santana Moss was on fire, man. But you know what? As good as Santana Moss was, that was just because it seemed like the Titans were kind of ignoring him, man. That's why he was doing as well as he was. In my opinion, I think you need to take number 89 and switch him with Brandon Banks. You put Banks in that slot instead of Santana Moss, and he's even faster, you know what I mean? We just got to make sure that kid can hold on to the ball. Speaking of which, Santana almost gave away that big reception yesterday, fumbling on that. And he ran out of gas on a deep pass. And I know it looked like McNabb way overthrew him, but it looked to me like Moss just kind of ran out of gas right there at the end, and that could have been 6 points right there. Bam. We're still having a problem scoring touchdowns, but that's all right. We looked productive yesterday. That was good. Man, what I wouldn't give for a doggone place kicker. Man, it seems like, man, I think Chip Lowmiller is like the last great kicker we had, and that was, forever ago. That's what we need. We need another doggone Chip Lowmiller that can get out there and guarantee us wins. I mean, that wouldn't even have been overtime, We had enough field goals to pone. I remember the Ravens won a Super Bowl, and all they did the whole season was frickin' kick field goals because their defense was good and their offense couldn't do a damn thing, man. See, we could be in that same position. So back to all this infighting within the BNG, man. A lot of fans, in my opinion, deal with this stuff differently, man. We've been in a perpetual rebuilding season, since 1999, it seems like to me. We had Joe Gibbs for a while, and that was pretty good, man, but he'd have those just amazingly brilliant games, and then he would have those games where you would wonder, hey, man, did football really just pass him by? So then, we get Zorn, and then, of course, you have to cut him slack on the first season. That's just one of those things you have to do with coaches in the NFL. So he goes, he does a fairly okay first season and then falls completely apart in the second season because he doesn't know what the hell an offensive line is, which doesn't make any sense since he's a doggone quarterback. So then we get Shanny, and now we got to, live in another rebuilding season where we're not supposed to expect much, and in a large part, I really don't, man. We won 5 games so far. We're 500, and we're pretty much along the track of where I thought we would be, or at least kind of close. I honestly wasn't sure we were going to beat the Titans, but just as soon as their own fans started booing them, man, I was like, nah, this game's over. And then you could tell the Titans started getting a little pissed off. They started playing really dirty in the end, and they basically just handed the fans what the fans were asking for the whole time as they were booing their own guys. Felt like I was watching the Eagles get their butts kicked instead of the Titans. Anyway, with all the infighting and everything, back to that, it just goes to show you that we don't really have a whole lot of football to talk about right now because we're just playing average, and that's kind of okay. And I'm just kind of curious to see what's going to happen next year. I know it's kind of sucks that we have to look to next year. This year we just kind of have to observe and see how far we get. Running a 3-4 defense with a 4-3 personnel isn't always that easy, even though it seems that moving Landry to strong safety has actually changed a lot of things. Like, I think if we hadn't moved him to strong safety, our 3-4 defense would be an absolute, abject failure rather than a work in progress where people can see that, it has possibilities. Anyway, as we, keep on going, I'm looking forward to playing Dallas again, man. I want to, I see that they're doing better. So they got no excuses here. Like if we were to kick their ass, they can't say, well, we didn't have our coach. We have an interim coach. But since they're doing so good, I'm going to feel really good when we get to Dallas and we, play the Dallas game and kick their ass. Also, I'm really looking forward to playing New York. Man, I can't believe that we had to play New York the opening game 2 years in a row. And then now, in this season, we don't play them until so deep in the season that, it just didn't make any sense to me anyway. All right, guys, anyway, there's my 2 cents, man. Let me shout out to everybody in the BNG, man. You guys have been making me laugh and keeping my head up for most of these doggone games, man. So, see you guys later, man. Hail to the Redskins.
Flatten itself out.
Come on, give me lots of honey.
Just taking